Hey, Railbirds, welcome to the 2025 Super Billiards Expo at the Diamond Open Pro Players Championship. We are joining this match already in progress. This is Ricky Evans versus Jeremy Sossei. That's Jeremy at the table. I'm your host, Kevin Ross. I am being joined by Allison Fisher, the Duchess of Doom. Thank you for joining us. How you doing, Allison?
I'm doing great, Kevin. Thank you for having me back. This is going to be a great match.
Well, thank you for joining, and yeah, I agree. This is going to be a good match. So give me just 1 second to get those fraggle rates updated at the bottom of the screen, so we'll get that up to date while we watch Jeremy break. Oh, nice break by Jeremy.
There we go with that one ball on the side. No shot on the two. And there's no point in jumping it because of where the three ball is situated. So he's going to play a push out. It's a tricky one because there's lots of cover. He pushes out the end of the table. Where does he push to? To, you know, where Ricky can't put him back into trouble. Can he tie up any balls? Sometimes push out's really thought-provoking and not easy.
Yeah, this is a tough spot to push out.
Because of where the 4 ball is, where the 5-9 lay, there's cover both sides of the table. That's what makes it tricky. He doesn't want to find himself back in trouble. It's like a little chess match. He made three balls on the break there and doesn't have a shot.
Isn't that always how it works? When you make 3 on the break, you don't have a shot? Funny how that works out. Alright, he's pushing out.
Yeah, the best he could do was get him onto the rail there, but I think he might find himself in trouble. It's not a bad push, but I would push, if I was Ricky now, I'd put the cue ball round by the 5-9 and try and push the 2 into the 4. I think. Nice play if he can get him behind the 4 ball. That would be really nice.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough shot from this distance.
Yeah. He's got someone behind him. Ricky's waiting for him to play his shot. Yeah, I've known Jeremy for many years, and he's a really solid player. He's out of Connecticut, I believe, in that area. So he's always up in the New York events and the Northern events. A very solid player. That's a nice shot by Ricky. Beautifully played.
Yeah, that was tough from that distance. He had a nice touch there. Nicely done.
Yeah, Jeremy had a really, not really a good advantage from making 3 balls on the break there. Tough kick.
Yeah,
Very tough kick.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I think he's cut off from that left rail, and if he's got to go 1 rail to this bottom rail, that's a tough one to judge.
Yeah, and even if you hit it, you're likely to sell out, I think.
Is there any benefit to trying to tie something up and not go for the hit?
Yeah, I mean, maybe pushing one of those balls into that 3-8. But then you don't want that situation of three fouls happening. And if you're giving ball in hand, it's easy to break the cluster up. So, but it might be the only option, really, is to tie something up. It'd be different if he had a bunch of balls down the other end, so that if he did hit the two, that he could get a safety. But he's obviously not seeing anything that he can tie up to his advantage, so he's going for it. Watch how the cue ball opens up with the top spin that's on it when it hits this rail. Oh, it's a really nice hit. Now it's up to the gods, isn't it? It's like I said, it's one thing hitting it, but it's easy to sell out on that shot.
Yeah, from kicking at it from that direction with that speed, it would have been nearly impossible to not leave some kind of shot.
I'd like to have been a little closer to the 3 ball, but shouldn't be a problem for Ricky. Nice shot. He's got a lot of talent, Ricky. He came through the juniors. He used to play for the US juniors, and he's a very experienced player, great player, quite quick. He doesn't really second guess himself at all. Very decisive. He's on a mission.
Nicely done. Didn't want that 9 to roll off. 2-0 in this race to 10.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Jeremy there. Nothing he could do really about that. And the good thing is it's alternating break, so you're always going to get a chance to come back.
Yeah, that's right. This is alternate breaks. Let's talk about the format a little bit. So we are doing rack your own alternate break. This is race to 10. We are racking with the 9-ball on the spot and breaking from the break box. This is a double elimination format until we get to 16 players left, and then it switches over to a single elimination format at that point. And 3 foul rules in effect, and that's everything you need to know.
Well, that was interesting. The one came up short of the centre pocket there, didn't it? But he still made a ball. Most players that we've seen so far have made that one ball almost without fail into the side pocket.
Yeah, so most of these great players have figured out the break to how to make that one in the side. But every table, is going to break a little bit different, so sometimes you have to. It might take you a few tries to really dial in how to get that one in the side. Wants that one to slow down.
Yeah, I think that speed got to him there, didn't it? A little bit disappointed with that. You could see that in his face. When I remembered Ricky in the juniors, he was quite tough on himself. Little. He showed his emotions on his sleeve, and you could see it.
Yeah, it's okay to be critical of yourself because you always want to improve, as long as you don't take it too far and let it, haunt your thoughts.
Of
So to
course,
speak.
and it's a tough thing to do, and to stay present is the hardest thing in this game to do, but that's what you really need to do. He's obviously got a lot of expectation as well.
Yeah, so much of this game is all about the mental aspects.
That's nice. A nice angle on the 2 to float round 2 rails on back onto the 3 ball. Looks like he could just cannon into the 4, push it closer to the pocket, or he can draw behind it over to the side rail. Choices.
Yeah, so just saw Jeremy pull his shirt down. I did see in the rules that it's foul on all balls, so you'd want to be very careful not to touch that ball with his shirt.
I'm just observing his back arm. He's got a little tremor there, hasn't he?
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
Oh,
But yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
yeah, I observe everything. No, I love technique. I love watching players. And there are many great players. Nick Varner being the one, obviously, that does have a big tremor, but shoots still great pool.
Yeah, he learned to compensate for it.
Yeah, you live with it. I don't remember him having it. I don't know if that's something that's developed or not. It'd be nice for Jeremy to get one on the board here.
All right, Jeremy on the board. 2-1, race 10.
I think we're going to be in for a close one here. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, their Frogger rates are not that far apart, and in a race to 10, anything can happen, especially with alternate breaks. So, yeah, just because one is 40 Fargo points ahead of the other doesn't mean he's an automatic win. So anything can happen.
Yes. I don't know what's going on there. They're having a little discussion. Maybe they're discussing who started. I'm not sure. Ricky won the first game, didn't he? And the second game.
Yeah, Jeremy just walked off, which, yeah, I don't know what's going on. If they were just trying to figure out whose break it was, I can't imagine he'd go walking off to go ask somebody.
No. We want to be a fly on the table, don't we?
Yeah, we need to get a microphone over there for the next tournament.
We need a drone, a little fly drone.
Players would love that.
Yeah. Oh, they would.
Especially when they're down shooting
We
the 9,
would.
and especially
We
when they're
would.
down shooting the 9, and you hover right in front of their face
Yeah.
to watch the shot. They'd
Buzz
love that.
them. Then we'd see who's got really good focus, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah, that would definitely separate the people with focus and those without.
Yeah.
All right, players are
Well,
on a
this
bit
is
of a
quite
walkabout.
interesting. Yeah, I think that's just a feet coming back towards this table.
Oh, he's brought a referee with
We're
him.
not too sure. Now this is weird, isn't it? What has gone on here? If only they could hear us, we'd let them know what the score was. I think they've lost track of who started and what the score is. I think Ricky must have, I know we came in and he was just running out, wasn't he, the first rack? But then Jeremy came up to break after that, so I think Ricky won the lag, must have won the lag and broke first rack.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because when the score was 1-0, Jeremy broke, made 3 balls on the break, and didn't have a shot.
Yeah.
So
And here we are.
by that logic, it should be Jeremy's break.
Yeah. We knew it all along, didn't we? Let's see what Jeremy can do on this break, see if he can get a shot. Still missed in the side pocket there. Both of them have come short with that one ball into the side.
Yeah, and Jeremy has gone from 3 balls on the break to 0 on the break.
Yeah. Fortunately, he didn't leave Ricky a shot there, just a good safety shot. I think it's just leaked out, a little window of opportunity here.
Yeah, I think he does have a little alleyway, a little peek around the 9.
Now, what can he do with this? How much of that one ball can he see? He can split the balls, or he could thin off the one. I think the play is to split the balls. Put them both on the side rails. Oh, that was nice. I didn't realise you could get so much of it there.
Yeah, you don't want to make that ball because he would have nothing on the 2.
No, I think he was playing the cue ball behind the 3 too. He put a lot of right hand spin on it, didn't he? Didn't quite get there.
Yeah, he just came a little closer than he wanted to actually pocketing that one, which would have been a disaster. Oh, nice shot. And he's got a shot on the 2.
I was going to say, not a nice shot, nice kiss there, right? I'll take that. Let's look at that again. A little swerve. That almost looked impossible to make. It was right on the edge there, wasn't it? It always looked beyond the curve of the pocket.
Yeah, it didn't look like that ball could be pocketed from that angle, but camera angles can be deceiving. And I've been deceived many times.
Landed slightly the wrong side of the ball there.
Yeah, it's not getting
He's
any
got,
easier.
I was going to say, he's got a ton of talent, Ricky, but he could just be a little loose sometimes. Like, he can do anything with the ball, but he just needs to get it, everything a little closer to the work, so to speak.
Hey, down in front, we're trying to watch here.
Yeah, can we move? Could you move over, please?
Oh, thank you. Oh, he got down just in time.
Well, he got away with that one, didn't he, I believe? But that's Paul, that's what happens.
Wonder if he can spin this rail first, maybe.
Yeah, and it's a two-way shot too. You can come thin off of it, you can send the cue ball back down table. It actually is a good safety shot where you flick the 5 into the long rail and back into the back rail. Oh, I made it. Nice score. Ooh. I'll take that. Nice shot.
It's kind of a bit of a tough one here, though.
Yeah, the Nineball is looking quite big here, isn't it?
But it's all you can do. You're frozen to the rail. You can't put any spin on this ball at all except top. That's all you can do.
Just smooth stroke it. Get it nice and smoothly. Nice shot. Really nice shot.
Yeah, I thought for sure that 9 was going to be in the path, but he was able to avoid it. Very nice.
Yeah, well, the side pocket, you can cheat a little bit too, can't you? You can alter the angle slightly. Not so much the corner pockets. It's come up a little bit short, so still got a little bit of work to do here. I always opted for the slightly longer 9 rather than sending the cue ball around the table. It's not always a bad thing, that. Ooh, nice shot. A little bit of a tester there.
All right, Jeremy, tying it up, 2 apiece.
Yeah. So where do I see them?
Ready to be reborn, buddy? Huh? Getting ready?
All right, so
Okay.
here we are. All right, push out.
That was an interesting push, wasn't it? I'm not sure. What was he trying to do? Because he's left a shot on the 2, isn't he?
It appears Tommy Kayer had
Yeah, he's left a shot to either corner pocket, whichever he likes more. It's not an easy shot, but it is a shot.
Yeah, and he'd like, obviously, if he was pushing to where he's landed, he would have expected to be on the rail, I would think. Wanting the cue ball on the rail because it's given him a chance to really cue this ball. It's that sort of 50-yard line, isn't it, into either pocket?
Yeah, neither one is easy. I think if you go to the left corner, you're more likely to have a shot on the 3.
Yeah, I think I'd be tempted by just rolling that actually into the left corner, soft medium pace.
Looks like he's punching this to the rail.
Yeah. No, it's a tough shot to play like that, to hold it, with the angle that he had. So it paid off for Ricky.
Yes,
I
maybe
think
he was
he sort of decelerated. I think he decelerated a little bit on it. That's probably why.
yeah, so it turned out to be a good push out after all.
Yeah, and that was a loose shot by Ricky there. That was quite loose. That's what I mean. He's sometimes a little erratic. Can make any shot, but he's not always in line.
Yeah, he did hit that 2 a little full, killed his cue ball. Now he's got a tough shot on this 3. Oh, he handled it.
Yeah, but you see, this is what happens. You get out of line on one, then it sort of snowballs, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed. All right, I guess we're going to see how good he kicks.
Wow, that was unlucky.
So what happens when
That
you hit
was
it
a
too
little
good?
Now, this is a time to sort of pay attention to a bit of body language, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember when you and I were watching the last match, we watched Jesus, and a lot of funny rolls, weren't there? And he just stayed right in the match.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, if they go back to their chair, looking, upright and attentive and just waiting for their next shot, versus someone who's slumped over in their chair looking all dejected, it says a lot about their state of mind.
Yeah, and it strengthens the opponent too. They're always watching.
Absolutely. These great players, if they sense weakness from their opponent, they will pounce on it.
Yeah.
So what do you like, Allison? How do you like getting from this 5 to the 6?
Yeah, it's a little tricky because it's looking. I like what he's doing because otherwise the 6 is tricky. It doesn't go in a corner; it goes in the side. But you would really want to take it back into the bottom right-hand corner as we're looking at the screen towards us. That's why he's opting for this follow, which I think I like. See, that's a much better shot, better choice of shot. Playing into that corner, and he played it quite well there. Left himself a nice angle to get back to the 7.
Yeah, those are really touchy, tricky little shots. You know, shooting a follow shot when you're that close to the object ball. So it's a good little shot to have in your toolkit.
Definitely. He likes to close bridge, doesn't he, Jeremy?
Yeah, you coming from the snooker background, like you almost never see that from snooker players.
Yeah, it's rare. It's rare because you're playing on a 12-foot table, and I like the visibility of seeing the tip.
Right.
That was nicely played, but nice strength he played there on that shot. Good pace. Jeremy takes the lead, 3-2. And breaking, which is the advantage.
And
so
breaking.
Just stole that game. Yeah.
So we saw him make 3 balls on the break. We've seen him make 0 balls on the break. He'd be happy with just somewhere in between. And a shot.
Exactly. The shot is the important part, right? Make a ball and get a shot. It's interesting, isn't it, as you watch the different players. You know, in that last match, it was very consistent, the break. There was only probably 2 or 3 where they didn't make a ball. Or they made a ball, but the one ball hit before the side pocket.
Yeah, the Mickey Krause, Jesus Atencio match. Yeah, they were breaking very consistently. They were both breaking very well. There we
That was
go.
better. That was a nice break. Not where the 2 ball landed. They're generally trying to get that one in the centre of the cue ball in the centre of the table. Or towards the end, but the 2 ball unfortunately has stayed down table here.
The good news is he can see the 2.
Yeah. Hooray!
Small victories.
Yes. Or take it.
So what do you like here, Allison?
Well, you could send the 2 back down table. You could split the balls. I think he's looking at the split of sending the cue ball over to the opposite side rail. And some of these are just the way you like to shoot the shot, you know. Well, it was a bit dangerous, that shot, sending the 2 towards the pocket. The cover, but it was dangerous, and you know, somebody's really good with a jump cue can easily make that shot. Not easily, but
Yeah, I know what you mean. They make it look easy.
yeah, some of them do. Gosh, if that was Fedor, I'd be making a 2, drawing back, get on the 3, run out.
Yeah, he'd be halfway through the rack by now.
Yep. I see, I was using the 4Q, doing the old Strickland jump. Beauty, what a beauty. That's a very nice shot. Now he's looking to see if that 3 ball passes by. Let's take another look. Really nice.
Oops.
And another look. Nice. A little bank on the 3. There's no fear in the way he plays the game, that's for sure.
It can be hard to play an opponent who has no fear, who shoots at anything.
It's good and bad. I like playing those types of players, really. I enjoy it. But you can be sitting in your seat a long time sometimes.
Yeah, when you're playing someone who has no fear and will shoot at anything, it's like, well, I can't play him safe over here. He's going to shoot. I can't play him safe over here. Sometimes you get like that.
Yeah, you got to lock them up, and you got to win your opportunities.
Exactly.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah, he put a nice stroke on that one.
That was a nice stroke from the rail. That's a confident stroke.
All right, we got a pretty tight match here, 3-3.
Yep.
Race to 10.
Just as we expected.
And it's going to be Ricky's break. So winning a game on your opponent's break, that's always big.
Yeah, they've just been back and forth there, haven't they? With that. I think some people have been asking in the chat about the last match that we were supposed to have on here. And didn't you say one of them forfeited, Kevin?
Yeah, so the match we had originally scheduled for this time slot was Jeremy Seaman versus Nick DeLeon, but Nick DeLeon had the forfeit. He did not. He signed up for the tournament, but was not able to attend. So that was a forfeit, and I didn't catch in time that it was a forfeit when I scheduled the match on our live stream. So whoops, my bad.
It happens. So here we go. We've got a tough shot on the 2 here. It makes this. It's got a really nice table layout. That side pocket has just got to be careful of. Smooth. That was really nice.
That was a nice shot. That was a lot
really
tougher
was.
than it looked.
Yeah, like I said, he's got so much talent. But he can sometimes just get a little bit ahead of himself, you know, sometimes can be a little too quick. Lose the cue ball.
I thought he was coming over to play the 4 in the left corner, but he was tapping the table like he wanted it to slow down, like he was planning he was planning for the combo.
Yeah, he just lost a bit of control there. I think that was a combo all day long, right?
A little bit off angle on this combo. Combos are hard enough as it is when you're straight on them. When you're off angle like this does increase the difficulty a bit.
This too.
Handles it.
Yeah, that was nice. You almost got to act like the other ball isn't there sometimes. That helps. Just got to make sure he gets really nice on this 5 ball. 4 to 5. Leave a nice angle to get on the 6. He barely touched that. He got a lot of action on that cue ball, didn't he?
Yeah, it seemed like he hit
the
that.
tables are getting a little. Yeah, I wonder if the tables are getting a little bouncier off the rails.
Yeah, he's ended up in kind of that awkward angle where he may just have to just come to the middle of the table and just take the longer cut on the 6.
Well, I think he's going to spin it down, lots of low left, and hug that rail more. Let's see. See what the choice is. Yeah, he tried that. He found that little window. That's a good shot.
Ooh.
Yeah, dangerous.
Dangerous, but he got away with it.
Yeah. There we go. Nice out by Jeremy. Little misplay by Ricky there. Should have been his rack.
Yeah, both players winning on their opponent's break.
Yeah.
In case you're just joining us, I am Kevin Ross, joined by the Duchess of Doom herself, Allison Fisher.
Thank you for having me. I love being here, and thank you for tuning in. I miss playing at the Billiards Expo. Been there times over the years, and it's a great event. And they usually have a wonderful audience, and in the weekend matches.
Well, their loss is our gain. We get to have you in the commentator booth with us instead of you being out there and us doing commentary on your match. You get to be on this side of the camera.
And I like it very much. Thank you.
It's a lot less stressful on this side of the camera.
Yeah, we know what it feels like out there, and it's easy to be the gallery on the sideline.
Oh yeah. I shoot a lot better from this side of the camera.
Oh, of course.
My break is still rubbish, though, even from over here.
Rubbish. I like it. He's in a funky little position here, isn't he?
Yeah, pocketing the 1 is not the hard part. It's getting the shot on the 3.
Yeah. It's hard to tell from this angle if he's going to bump into the 4. If he hits it softly. I'm not sure. Can't quite tell. We're going to find out.
Or not.
Yeah. He's not liking it, is he? It's just that funny little angle where I think it would just clip it and he could find himself snookered.
Yeah, and there's no easy safety, really.
You might have to play a bit harder and come in and out of the rail.
Maybe try to play something off the 6 ball, maybe. Okay, he is playing safe. Slow down, cue ball. Okay.
Well, he made a good choice. It looked like it was going to go too far, but it was a good choice. Yeah, he didn't just quite have the angle, did he, to bump the 4? It was just a little too thick on the thick side.
Yeah, he made a nice little safety. All right, Ricky going for the old hit and stick.
It's not a bad outcome, though, is it?
Yeah, just like the previous shot, getting from the 1 to the 3 is still a problem.
I like another safe here coming off the left side as we're looking at it, the one, and going 2 rails down table with the cue ball between the 3 and 4 and leaving the 1 ball on the end rail here behind the 9. That's an option.
That's true. There's no rule that says you have to shoot at the pocket.
Yeah, that's the shot.
Yeah, good call.
Well, I think it was a real natural shot. You know, why force a game if you don't have to? Patience sometimes prevails.
Yeah, that's why I'm over here. It's the whole thing with patience.
I'm over here with you.
And we seem to be having problems with our camera feed. So we'll be
Yes, we do.
we'll be right back while we try to fix this technical difficulty. So hold on.
And we're back.
We're back.
Well, Ricky kicked at the ball, left a shot, but he's left Jeremy in a tricky position because he's nailed to the rail with that cue ball. Got to cue this really well. Oh, nice shot. Very nice shot.
Yeah, this looks
That's a beautiful
perfect.
shot. You couldn't have hit that any better than he did there.
Yeah, that was very nice.
Now, he was looking earlier to see if that 5-8 is a combo down the rail.
Well,
Now
I
we're
think,
going to see.
yeah, we're gonna find out.
I think it is. He's not going to have another look, so he's sure in his mind that it is.
I mean, on screen it looks like it's on. Or maybe the 8 is just a hair off the rail more than the 5.
Mm-hmm. Let's not split hairs, though. And you also want the 5 to obviously remain in position for the next shot.
Yeah, making this combination doesn't do you much good if you don't have a shot to follow it up with.
Right.
Alright, I think he did alright. Pretty sure
Yes,
sure
I
that
think
5
so.
goes.
Absolutely. Let's see if he strikes it as well as he did the 1 ball.
Got away with something there.
Yeah, it could have been dangerous. Flirting with the 9 ball there.
All right, Jeremy Sossei winning 2 games in a row, 5-3 in this race to 10.
Yeah, Ricky's going to be a little bit disappointed. He's given a couple of games away that should have been his. But we're only halfway through.
Yeah, still
Anything can happen.
Yeah, still plenty more pool to be played.
Yes, there is. And those are the fun matches where you're way behind and you come back and win them.
Yeah, we just had a fun match with Jesus Atencio and Mickey Krause where Jesus was down 6-4. Oh, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen that match yet. Whoops. Sorry. I'm terrible about that. I'm terrible about that.
Sorry if you didn't want to know.
Whoops.
Whoops, you did it again. Now we've got a little bank shot on here. I think we'll see him fire this, won't we?
I'm pretty sure that was his plan the whole time, was to bank this 3 in. I don't see him. I don't see him playing safe here.
Oh no, it's not his style. He was quite concerned about getting to the 4 there, making sure he had a shot, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah, he hit the 3 a little too full, so had he actually made the 3, he would have had, he would have had more angle on this cue ball. He would have had a shot on the 4, no problem. That brings Jeremy to the table. Gotta dodge this 5 ball to come around for the 4.
Yeah, the speed control is quite tough on this shot because you've got to spin the ball to get around the 5, and then you've got to play just the right pace.
Yeah, very touchy shot.
So is he just going to float it to the center, towards the center of the table, or is it going to come longer?
You would like to come longer to make it easier to go from the 4 to the 5, but you have to be pretty precise with the position.
Yeah.
And yes, he was going longer.
Yeah, you're right, because of the 8 ball, but that was a tough shot. But maybe that shot, if you're going to go longer and hit it harder, maybe you should go harder and go 1, 2, 3, 4 rails off the back rail here and up.
All right. Now, can he avoid the 5 on this shot?
Tough.
Okay, the answer is no. At least not hitting it like that anyway.
These are funny little shots because sometimes sometimes it's good for rail first. You could draw straight back. You've got to really study where it is in the pocket. If you can clip it thin, which I don't think you can. Maybe you can, I'm not sure. Yeah, he's travelled much further than he wanted there.
Yeah, let that cue ball get away a little now.
Yeah.
So now he's in a tough spot.
Yeah, because that was a really good opportunity, wasn't it?
Yeah, he really wanted to just be anywhere in the middle of the table and just
Yeah.
overrolled his spot, and now he's in a tough spot.
I don't think the 4 goes into the bottom right, does it? Past the 8 ball. Does it slice past
Doesn't-
it? I don't think so.
Doesn't look like it to me.
Okay, look, he's looking at playing it into the 8 ball, so the 8 ball's holding the 4 and then doing something with the cue ball maybe behind the 5.
Every time I try a tricky shot like that, I end up making the 8 and then snookering myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that. Oh, no, I thought he made the 8.
Almost. See, you'd almost called it.
It's because I've done that to myself too many times.
It's not a bad leave, though, is it, really?
He's
Ricky's looking... Go on.
He's left distance, and not an easy shot by any means. Not even an easy safety not from this distance. So yeah, he's done all right.
Was he playing the 8? Not sure he was. He was playing it with loads of spin. He put a lot of left hand spin. I don't know if he was dividing the balls or if he meant to catch that 8. Can he get through here? If he can get through, is it an inside English?
Yeah, he does have a clear shot at the 4. I think he can load this up
Is it
with some left
outside?
spin.
No, he's going low right.
Yeah, he's going bottom right.
Yeah, it's a preference here. How are you feeling? You've got to make sure you avoid that side pocket with shots like this, that you really get into the shot, get that spin working. Which is not easy if the rails are bouncy. Nice shot. Played that really well. Good pace.
Very nice. Well handled.
Yeah, that was a really nice shot to avoid the 9 ball there, wasn't it?
Yeah, very well judged.
You have to play these shots carefully. These shots are often overlooked, aren't they? Where sometimes the first ball, the 6 ball, lands on the end rail. I'd like to have had more angle on that cue ball coming down to the left side of a table, so you're just cutting the 6 into the 8. And then you're guaranteed a shot on the 6 ball.
Yeah, very easy for the 6 to end up on the end rail. And from being straight like this, you won't have a shot, really. He was very well aware of that possibility and made sure that didn't happen.
I've done it many times.
Haven't we
Well, we
all?
all have. Yeah. You see he's got a lot of left-hand spin on this ball to straighten it out for the 7. I like seeing from these angles where the players are hitting on the ball. It's good for people watching to learn what they're doing. Just used a nice centre ball with a bit of force there to get the cue ball off the rail, give himself a shot on the 9. This 9 ball to give him a 3-game lead. Very nicely played.
And I believe it's
Sossei leading. Go on.
and I believe it's going to be his break as well.
That's massive, isn't it? Got a nice
Huge.
3-game lead. Nobody's really been dominating the break, have they, in this match?
No, neither player's really been having a lot of success with the break, which that could change on a heartbeat. That all of a sudden, if Jeremy or Ricky's break starts working, you might see several games in a row. At least when it's their turn to break.
Well, this is exactly where you want to be halfway through the match with this little cushion games.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off just a little bit. You can relax a little.
Not too much, though.
Hmm.
He didn't make a ball there.
Is this billiard on, you think?
It doesn't look like it to me.
Nope, just playing safe.
That's a good safety. Can he get behind? You can go across. Can he get behind? Or nothing's tied up, so he has to, he's going to kick behind. And then see if we can send the 1 down table. Behind the 4.
I'm just wondering, is he going to try to use the 4 for cover, or has he got something else in mind? He is trying to use the 4 for cover. Didn't quite get there.
He could find himself in trouble now.
Yeah, pretty easy safety here behind the 4.
Yeah, you really want to get right behind it like that. That was a really nice shot. And he's pushed the 1 into the 2 and 6 there, but he does have a shot at it. And he's lining up where he wants to shoot into the pocket and finding the midway point. And then he's going to parallelly stick over the cue ball.
Yeah, I use that same system often.
And then the other one is to double check it as a mirror image, double the distance of the 1 ball to the rail, to the carpet, so to speak. The imaginary table. That was a good hit. But he has left a shot. Has he left a shot into the side pocket? Or does it go into the corner?
It looks like it goes to that right side, yes.
It might even go into the corner, I'm not sure. So if you could just hit it straight and hold, that would be the play. I think it's playing it to the side and the 2 into the corner. It's just not happening for him, is it?
No. Is it just me, or does it feel like to you maybe he shot that a little quick?
Well, I think that's his start. The thing about his stroke, if you watch his warm-up strokes, they're a little bit jabby, aren't they? And I think that leads to a jabby stroke, the final delivery.
Sure.
Whereas if you watch a lot of these good players, the slow swing and the smooth delivery, you've got more chance of getting where you want the ball to go. If you're warming up with quick jabby strokes, that's probably how you're going to hit the ball when you come to execute the shot.
So this talk about fundamentals reminds me, I wanted to ask you, do you still do workshops and clinics?
Oh, I do. Thank you for asking. I do. I do individual one-on-ones. I do clinics for. There's a forum that sponsors me, Break Time Billiards and Sports Bar in Clemens, North Carolina, and I'll be holding some clinics there. And I've done several clinics with Mark Wilson too. So I'll probably be announcing some in the near future on my Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, I enjoy teaching. I think obviously that's something I'm going to do when I quit competing, and also while I'm competing. I've had a little bit of time off. I've had an arm issue, and I'm trying to figure what it is going on. I've got a little tremor in my left hand, and I've had some arm issues. So into ortho, and I'm going to go to a neurologist next.
Well, I hope it's nothing serious.
Thank you. I hope so too. I miss being out there competing.
So everyone, be sure to watch Allison's Facebook and Instagram for her announcement of when she's holding her next clinic. And what's your name on, or what's your Facebook page on Facebook?
I think Allison Fisher Athlete, and it'll be the right one. Will be Allison Fisher MBE. You'll see when you get there. It's Allison Fisher Athlete, and Allison Fisher MBE, and then the Instagram is Allison Fisher Nineball.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, you see it. See Jeremy's swing and delivery is a bit smoother, isn't it? And Ricky's.
Yeah, definitely a contrast in styles for sure between these two players. Almost polar opposites.
Well, I feel like with the style of Ricky's play, if he's on, he's on. If he's not, he's not. It's one of those situations where it's hard to be really consistent.
Right.
But if he's on, he's really good. Somebody's asking in the chat if I'm related to Kelly Fisher. I always call her
The
my
Fisher
sister, but
sisters.
she's not actually.
The Fisher
we're
sisters.
very good friends. Yeah, we're great friends. We've known each other over 30 years, I think. Long time. I've known Kelly since she was about 13 years old. So it's a very, very long time. So we know each other really well, and we have a good laugh when we get together. But I believe Kelly is there at the expo, so go and meet her at the booth. She's doing challenge matches. So I'm sure she'd love to see you. And say hi to my sister. Well, at this stage of the game, Ricky's got nothing to lose. Ooh, I was about to say, the commentator first, Ricky's got nothing to lose, and then the cue ball drops. Wow. So does 2 go by that 5 ball?
It's hard to tell, but he might be able to squeak that 2 ball past it.
Yeah, you want to be in a good position to. You don't want to be cutting the ball back into a blind pocket. You want to get on this. If it does go, you want to get on it where you can see straight ahead almost. exactly what he did. So you can get to see the two in most of the pocket.
So we originally had Jeremy Seaman versus Nick DeLeon scheduled for this stream, but had to make a last-minute switch to this match. But I still have the old thumbnail up on the YouTube page, so I gotta switch that real quick. Oh, hold on, cue ball.
Well, it's obviously a little upset with that because I think it was a big focus on making the two that you sometimes forget about the next ball. You just think it's a hanger. While he's having to think about this, whether to get the jump cue or not, or to try and curve it a little bit, I'm not really sure. Maybe we can do that. Or can he swing by there? He's having another look. I just wanted to mention about, somebody mentioned in the chat about the Q Queens. It's potentially going to be a docu-series and hopefully sold to Netflix at some point, where they're following the careers of several of the female players. And
Oh, nice.
like a reality show. Yeah, they'd like to make it. They're building the trailer at the moment. I'm going to be going down to Conway in South Carolina to Ava Lawrence's place. Ava's going to be doing an interview, Laurie, John, Gerda, myself. We'll be chatting about old times, and that'll be part of the trailer in order to, sell this docu-series. And it'll be our lives over a couple of years if it goes well. So that'd be pretty cool for women's pool and for pool in general.
That sounds like a great series. I will definitely be tuning in.
Yeah, it would be great because it's, all the different generations. There's going to be a lot of the female players on it from the different generations, and it'll be a lot of fun. So he ended up snookering himself there. Well, not snookering himself. He couldn't make the three, so he went for the bank, and that didn't pay off there. Now, I think Ricky's got a little bit of spin on this. So he bumps the 6 and he makes the 3. He did bump the 6, but he didn't make 3. Okay, so what have we got here? Safety. See, the thing is, he's got to be careful of putting that 3 near the 9 too. So Ricky has a chance here to play a carry if he wants to. And I think being 7-3 down, he might have a crack at it. Nice shot. Well played. That's great.
Oh, nicely done.
Nothing to lose there. He had to go for that, I think, at this stage of the game. Another look at that. So you notice he went rail first there with the cue ball, which gave him a greater chance of making the shot. If you go straight into the 9, you have to be much more accurate. What he didn't want to do was hang it up, so that was a really good way to play that shot.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is leave a hanging 9 ball for your opponent.
So Jeremy up to break, still with his 3-game advantage. And gave Ricky a gift. One problem here is the 6 ball on the 8 ball there. So that might be a little bit of a saviour. He's looking at breaking that up maybe with the safety here. The one into the 6-8, then a safety shot. What do you think?
That is a nice shot. Sorry, I was going quiet for a second there. I had to do some quick Photoshop work before I get lynched for using the wrong photos.
Don't want to do that. Yeah, it was a little, he would like to have been right up on the 5, but that was a good shot. Nearly leaked out, but now he's opened. It won't be hard for Jeremy to hit this ball. It might be tricky for him to get safety out of it. So let's see if it pays off for Ricky or not.
Alright, thumbnail photo updated, so you have my full attention again. Ooh, barely caught it.
Didn't want that. Two to the 3. 3's a little funky, but it does go in the corner. 3 corners.
Yeah, 2 to the 3, definitely key. Oh, I guess making the 1 ball is key.
Wow. Not going his way right now, is it?
Sometimes you just have one of those matches where nothing goes right.
Yeah, everything's been a bit tricky. He's made it tricky a lot of the time though, hasn't he? He's got on the wrong side of things. But that one, he shouldn't have missed that. Just make the ball. Don't try and be fancy and get the cue ball away from the rail. You've got to take what you can get. So even if you can't get on the 3, it's great safety behind that 4 ball.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, if he can't get position on it, he does have the good safety. So, you know, you try to get position. If you don't quite make it, you still have the safety as the backup.
Got your plan B.
It's good to have a plan B.
Yep.
Oh, that's perfect.
That is a nice shot. These are tricky. I think you mentioned that earlier when you're close to a ball. It's always a little bit thinner than you think, isn't it, when you cut it? Nicely played. So you just got to make sure he leaves a nice angle on the 6 to come back for the 7 ball. 2 rails, preferably.
Yeah, Jeremy just taking care of business. Not doing anything fancy, but just always giving himself the best chance, staying on the right side of the ball.
Don't want to be on the rail though, there.
No, that does it does hamper you a little.
Struck that well. I feel like the speed slowed down a bit, do you? From the previous match.
It does feel like that the ball isn't taking off quite as much as it was before.
Right.
Maybe the cloth getting a little bit dirtier, a little bit more play on them, maybe more humidity in the room.
Yeah.
All right, 8-4, race to 10. And a very comfortable lead now. Very important for Ricky to get this game. You cannot let your opponent get on the hill.
Yeah, he's given a lot of opportunities away. And Jeremy's just taken advantage.
So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss any of the action. We got plenty more fantastic matches from the Super Billiards Expo coming your way. But Earl Strickland is scheduled to be on our stream next match. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss.
That's just what I saw that in the chat and I was thinking, are you going to say something that's not to be missed?
You definitely don't want to miss that. This should be a good one.
And let everyone you know. Should be fun.
Yeah, let's get everybody watching.
Yeah.
And by everybody, I mean everybody.
Yeah, let's give Earl a crowd.
Yeah, let's break YouTube. So, dry break for Ricky. Not much of a shot at the one for Jeremy. I think you can see an edge, if that.
Doesn't really give him a lot though, even if he can.
Alright, what does Jeremy have in mind here?
I think he's trying to pull that cue ball down to the end of the table of this cluster of balls. Very touchy. There you go. That's a tough shot. I think he's trying to get behind the 7 back rail and then come behind those balls. Very hard to control.
Yeah, and he's left a shot on the 1 to the corner, and I think that 2 ball does go to this bottom left corner.
Right.
Then if he gets a good angle on the 2, he can maybe fall on the 3 for the same pocket as the 1, but I might be getting ahead of myself a little bit here. Gotta take care of business first here.
Yeah, you can pump 3 balls. to hit it
just
with a little bit of speed, I think, to get that 3 out off that rail. Wow, I overcut it. Completely missed it. He would have hit the 3 thicker anyway, wouldn't he, if he'd made the ball?
yeah, I was wondering if he could just roll the 2 and bump the 3 out, but I couldn't tell if it was going to hit the 3-2 full and end up just double kissing it.
Right. It's a beauty. Look at that shot. It's like, thank you for not dropping.
Oh yeah, he was staring at it the whole way, giving it the evil eye, like, don't you dare go in there, don't you dare fall on that side.
Right. Do you remember we saw Ricky kick one of these earlier, but he followed it in, didn't he? But this doesn't quite have that angle.
Yeah, we know he knows how to kick this one in, so let's see if we can repeat that. Yes, he can
Wow.
repeat.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a nice shot. Very nice shot. He could play the 3 off the 7 possibly here.
Yeah, super tough shot.
Very tough shot. There's no doubt about it, but it's possible. I can't quite see if the 7's close enough to the pocket or not.
Yeah, it is hard to see because the blue of the rail blends in with the blue of the cloth of the bed, so it's hard to tell. And it looks like he's just
Yeah.
looks like he's just playing safe, banking the 3 out of there, coming down with the cue ball.
Nice. He really wants to get on the table and knock some balls in, doesn't he? He's sort of been out of the game for a while.
Yeah, you can tell he's kind of chomping at the bit. He's just like, let me at him, let me at him. And he hasn't really had anything he could really sink his teeth into, really.
Yeah. Nice play.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
Two rail kick? Or are you playing a kick and stick? I think the 2 rails.
Yeah, it's what he was attempting.
Now, has he left a bank? Looks like a bank shot because of where the 4 is. You may as well have a go, right? If he can't make it.
Yeah, there's not much cover if you miss it.
No, it's an all-in shot.
But, you know, where do you play safe? I mean, I think you got to shoot.
Yeah, I think so. He stepped back to look at it.
Nice. Nicely
shot.
done.
Very nice. Yeah, I think that was the right thing to do. Just because of where the 4 was, it was like natural, wasn't it, position?
Yeah, you don't have to do anything special with the cue ball, which lets you focus 100% on making the bank shot, which helps a lot.
Yeah. Yep. I feel like he's handled the speed and pace of shots better than Ricky in this match.
Yeah, it does seem like he's adjusted to the speed of the table quite well. Maybe in the beginning the table seemed maybe a little bouncy at first, but seems like he's made the adjustment quite nicely. That being said, he's a little bit, there's a tiniest bit off angle on that 6 maybe, but you know, he handled it so nicely. Maybe that's exactly what he wanted.
Well, I think that's why he came back to the end rail, because rather than just hold there, get close to the work, let his stroke out a bit. That was nice. These looks like it's just a 2 rail up there. Short, long. Nice shot. And I think maybe 2 rails out again, going to that short rail, long rail, and out towards the centre of the table.
Yeah, there's nothing fancy or flashy about Jeremy's game.
Exactly.
He just gets out there and just takes care of business.
Yeah, go where the cue ball wants to go. Go in a natural path of where it wants to go, and just keep it really simple. It's 9, puts him on the hill. Needs 1 for the victory, and Ricky's got a lot of work to do here. And with the alternating break, it's not looking good.
Oh, and it's Jeremy's break. So that's even worse for Ricky. But, you know, fortunately for Ricky, Jeremy hasn't had a lot of success on the break.
Yeah, like I said, it's not really been a break fest here, is it?
All right,
Great.
one in the
You made it.
one in the side. Hold up, cue
Oh.
ball.
And he nearly made the 9 in the corner too. Look at what we've got
Nearly.
now. He's got potentially the run out here. Nineball.
Definitely got movement on the 9.
Well, that's what people go for with this break. So the one in the side, obviously, as we've seen, is always something that the players are going for. But when the cue ball hits the side rails, there's potentially a chance to knock in the 9 if it makes contact.
Yeah, by sending that cue ball to the side rail and back through the stack, that definitely does get some movement on the 9. And we've seen a golden break more than once. Not this match, but we've seen them. As a result of that. Oh, that's nice. That's perfect. It could be all over for Ricky. This, I may not have mentioned this. This is a B-side match. This is an elimination match. Someone will be going home. Yeah, if he gets good on this 5,
This is how we interpret.
it might be. Looks pretty smooth sailing once he gets past this 5. So I think this 5 is going to be key. Oh, a little nudge, but he got there.
That was the first really great opportunity on the break that he's had, isn't it? And it's ironic. It's a hope for him to possibly win the match here.
Have we seen any break and runs this set?
I don't believe so.
I'm trying to think back. I don't remember seeing any break and runs. Well, if you're gonna pull out the break and run for the match, is the time to do it. Oh
What?
my goodness.
So no, isn't it bizarre? Do you remember we saw Mickey Krause miss one of those, like the 8-ball earlier, like that?
Yeah.
We thought, where did that come from? It's because he was putting spin on the ball and probably forgot to switch the aim a little bit.
Maybe in his head he was already giving his acceptance speech. He was imagining all the paparazzi and all the flashes and photos.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That's what happens when you get ahead of yourself, isn't it?
oh, good
it's
effort.
paused.
But
I was
that's
hoping that was a good shot. That was a nice try.
about the worst possible outcome.
Yeah. Which is, when you play on these diamonds, that's if you miss it, it's likely to hang up. If you're that close.
Yeah, if the cloth has any wear to it at all, they're pretty grabby there at the corners.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Jeremy was expecting to be back at the table that quickly. He got a little fortunate there.
Yeah, a bit of a tester here on this 8. That's not going.
Wow. Again. Another chance.
Ricky's still alive. Oh no.
Ouch.
I think it just wasn't meant to be for Ricky this match.
No.
Sometimes you just have a match where nothing can go right. It's just not meant to be.
Yeah. And Jeremy played quite a solid match. A few
He
mistakes here and there, but it was quite a solid match.
All right,
Well
so
played, Jeremy. He stays in.
unfortunately this was an elimination match. This was a B-side match, so that does eliminate Ricky from this tournament. But at 10:30, we're going to have the great Earl Strickland, so you're not going to want to miss that. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn on those notifications. And I am Kevin Ross, along with the Duchess of Doom, Allison Fisher. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.